everybody. It's Friday, April 23rd, and we're here with another edition of Nonprofit Executive Spotlight, where we feature nonprofit professionals seeking their next opportunity. I'm Cecilia Supp. I'm a certified association executive, and I'm the principal and founder of Rogue Tulips Nonprofit Consulting and Association Management Services. And today we're very pleased to have as our featured guest, Brittani Harris. Welcome, Brittani.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you today. I'm really excited.
Oh, we're glad to have you here because you have a really unique background, both working with community-based organizations and then within those positions doing a lot of fundraising and development projects. So what do you see currently? We're still in the pandemic period, I think. You can't call it the middle because we don't know when it's
I know, right?
But...
We don't know what's going to
but what do you see as some challenges for nonprofits doing fundraising right now?
Well, I know that in my experience, at least with dealing with the pandemic and going more virtual with events and just activities in general life, I think it's just finding a mix of like the personal, mixing like the personal touch that you would have for being in person with, the virtual side. I know a lot of, organizations have had trouble kind of reorganizing their budget to kind of put into some of the virtual programs that are out there to host their events. And, the learning curve that comes with trying to figure out how to do online events yourself. Do you go through a company? And, you losing that personal touch of being there in person and being able to have those networking opportunities. I know that a lot of organizations, it took like going through one or two events to kind of find the rhythm that works best for them. I think a lot of it is, you don't realize how much work goes into these fundraising events either. When they go virtual, like it's basically about 10 times more work than which it really is. Yeah, then in person. I think in person, for me, doing events for so long, you can only prepare so much, and then you get to the day of, and then you kind of handle problems as they come onto your plate. But with virtual events, you have to anticipate everything that could possibly go wrong. You have to write down to like the script that you have on the invitation, to who's going to be managing the chat, to who's going to be coordinating with the tech side and making sure that they're making transitions correctly. So I feel like it was a learning curve for a lot of organizations that weren't already doing virtual events. And so I know that by now everybody's kind of got a little bit more of a rhythm, and definitely doing budgets for the next year. They're putting more money into making sure that they have the quality programs for their events in order to kind of make up the difference. But yeah, it's been a crazy year, I think, for everybody just in general. But the fundraising world, I know, has been hit a little bit as far as seeing those dollars that they would normally get from like on the gala side, gifts that they're going for, things of that nature. So
yeah, and I think a lot of times we talk about fundraising and development.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand that they're actually different things, because development is really more about relationship building over time, as opposed to fundraising like, hey, buy a cupcake at the bake sale and help the school. So what are your thoughts on that, on different approaches and getting that understanding across?
Exactly. So I've done, I've kind of been involved with both over the past few years. I think with fundraising, I've done a lot of fundraising events for patient-centered organizations where it's strictly about getting those dollars and cents and coming in. And, on the side, it's building the relationships within the community, but it's mostly kind of, the more exposure, the more people will come and donate and that kind of thing, and kind of be more creative with what's enticing to people who you're, the audience that you're dealing with, whether they are more affluent or they're a part of the community, and kind of, honing in on things that might be of value to them within their own community. Whereas development, it's like you said, it's, developing relationships with people who in the long run will help not only our organization, maybe financially, but would be able to actually help, the patients or the, community members that are involved in the organization, kind of giving them more access to resources and tools to, make a more positive impact in their life and basically better quality of life in general.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because that's where you're probably going to be working with high dollar donors, maybe
Exactly.
people who might make an endowment if you're working at a foundation. So I want to ask you about capital campaigns, because those can be very time intensive and need a long plan to make that happen. So what are your thoughts on that area of development?
So with capital campaigns, I think a lot of it is just planning, a lot of planning ahead of time, a lot of coordinating for me in particular, as part of the development side, but like as far as like the vernacular, the things that you need to kind of promote to others. That are more high level or more within somebody else's wheelhouse, you really do need to have that constant communication with like all aspects of the organization, both communication and programming in general. So I think it takes a lot of planning. It's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of TikToks, not the app that people are going into
Oh, no,
now,
not that.
but more or less like, breaking down each month, kind of the duties, the tasks, that keep us all on track, having those meetings to kind of coordinate with one another to make sure that everybody has the tools that they need. I know a lot of the campaigns that we've done, that I've done before in the past, it's the coordination that's actually made the campaign better. And, when you don't have that and you don't have the tools or like, going up to communications and saying, these are the things that we're going to need over the next few months. And these are kind of the things that you need to accomplish for every month. It kind of, it slows the whole process down. And then, everything that happens internally, like bad or good, eventually will, come out forward facing. So I think, just the constant communication, being able to get the tools that you need, being very vocal about, expectations and deadlines. I know that for me, I've done a lot of logistical works and oh my goodness, like deadlines, just when people start pushing it or ebbing and flowing it, ends up kind of all of a sudden everything's jam packed. So I think that's the one thing when it comes to larger campaigns that you just have to stay focused and you have to have, goals of, even break it down like goals of the week versus goals of the month, goals of, the quarter. It's just, it can be a variety of, difficulty, but at the same time, I think when it works well and you have a team that works well with one another, it'll pan out pretty well.
Yeah. Right. Well, and there's a lot of fun examples of not just fundraising events or fundraising campaigns or capital campaigns out there, but there's also some I think that are really on point with the goal of the organization. So the example that always comes to my mind is when the Civil Rights Museum was raising money to build the Civil Rights Museum. You could buy a brick and have money put on the brick, and that helps build the building. So what's like the most fun fundraising campaign or development campaign you've ever worked on?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I've had so many, to be honest. I believe when it came to the fundraising events that involve patients in general, so like being able to get people to donate to see their value in in a real person. For example, I've experienced a lot of campaigns that we've done to basically pay for somebody to go and like get knowledge and like be able to report back to the person that actually donated the funds for them to go about like how amazing it was and how much it benefited them and how much they're going to take the tools and resources that they have to move forward and to like be a better community member, but not only that, like be able to like prolong their life or be able to kind of advance themselves in some way. And that's just all across the board. It's not even just patient-centered organizations. I've done a lot of community based organizations where, for example, I worked for one organization that was, has scholarships for people of color to go to this huge biology, like microbiology conference for students. And it was amazing to see them come back and be like, I would never have had that opportunity had this person not donated. And, it's not so like fun, but I think for me, when you're so focused on the mission and the vision of the organization, it's nice to see like your hard work into one program that you're actually getting like verbal feedback from.
So you think the most fun campaigns are when you connect a donor with an actual person that they would be impacting?
Yeah, I think, and it's not even just directly connect. I think if there's I've done a lot of help with, annual reports to kind of get, little snippets and feedback from community members in the annual report that we send out to donors to kind of be like, this is representative of like all the things that we've done this year. And these are the comments that we have from all these things that you contributed to. And, they can take that, whether they are, an individual or they're like a corporate donor, and be like, these are the things that we contributed to this year. It's kind of, you want to invest in your community, you want to invest in good people. And it's nice to actually show them like, this is what your hard-earned dollars did.
Right. Well, and you do need to make that emotional connection with people when you're asking them to support anything, because when you're asking for time, you need to make that connection as well. So I agree. The more examples you can give, but I think doing something like, Save the Children, and they send the portrait of the child, and the child will maybe write you a letter about, now I'm going to school or something. I think those kind of things really are neat, even though that child's probably being supported by, 100 other people. They're not just your child.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's still, I think it's fun, and it's, some of the groups that I like to support, like Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Utah, they will tell you, like, not just like you've adopted this one animal, but like, look at all the animals you've helped. And this is,
I love that society, by the way. They're great.
God, they're awesome. Big shout out. This is supposed to be about Brittany, but
I know,
shout out to Best Friends.
I know, but I know about them and they're great. I think, I did work, I had a short contract where I helped run a golf event for the MDA, the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And that was definitely fun to actually encourage people to, fill out the shamrocks and things like that at the grocery store. So I've been, here and there with it, and I love it all, as long as, I love seeing the smiles and reactions. That's the thing. It's like seeing that part, or seeing at least the impact that you've made in a program, no matter how small or whatever campaign it is, it's always well worth it.
And this is probably before your time. The Muscular Dystrophy Association used to have these MDA carnival kits that children could get, and it would show you how to do your own fundraising event. And so,
wow, yeah, I did. Unfortunately, didn't encounter that while I was there, but
well, they stopped doing them. I'm not sure exactly why or when, but I was pretty little, and my older sister did one, and I participated in that. And so I think giving people kits like that is a great way, to get them involved, get them committed, and, show them it's like children helping children,
Exactly. And, when I worked for a rare disease organization, we had a lot of that, opportunity for people to fundraise, in different ways, and kind of give them the tools. It was kind of like a media kit, where you kind of just sent it off to them and say, we gave them everything from templates to, logos to stickers.
That's great.
Yeah, we kind of just made it easier for them, because a lot of that community, their disease is very, the medications involved with that disease were very expensive. So, anything that we did, we tried to make it easier for them. So giving them a little package, we ended up, seeking the benefits from, but at the same time, those went into the programs that, generally help those.
Well, and unfortunately, these episodes go really fast because
I
we have such
know.
great conversations, and we're near the end of our episode, so we need to wrap
Okay.
up. I want to thank you, Brittany, for joining us today and talking about your experiences. So, before we close for this episode, what sort of a position would you like to move into next?
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to hop on today. You and I can talk forever, and I know
That's
that,
true.
yeah, I know we have plenty of conversations in the future. The position I'm looking for right now, I've worked in development and fundraising for quite some time now, and especially when dealing with events, I kind of want to find a little bit of a new challenge where I can kind of take some of those skills that I have as far as development work and maybe work within membership. I did work for an association before where, although I was doing development work, I also was with, I was also interacting and like supporting members along the way. And being a forward facing member, I loved it. I loved being able to interact with people and kind of encourage people and direct people to programming that would, meet their needs at the time. I also love a challenge. I love, I'm very much somebody that learns very quickly. If I don't know how to do it, I'm going to find a way to do it. And, I kind of want to find something that advances my career, kind of lifts me up and challenges me within the membership and development field. I think that would be a lovely way to give back, is just to kind of make it so other people can advance themselves and grow.
Oh, that is great. And I know somebody will scoop you up quickly. So if you would like to add Brittany Harris to your team, you should contact her now. So Brittany, what's the best way for somebody to get in touch with you?
Well, they can definitely reach me at, I think my email address is probably the best way to contact me. I can say it for you out loud, or I don't know if you want to include it in the notes,
Uh,
but
well, that if you would like to share your email, that's great. Go ahead, go for it.
perfect. Okay, so it's my first name, Brittany, Brittani, Harris, Harris @gmail.com.
Great. And I'm guessing you're on LinkedIn as well.
I am also on LinkedIn as well.
So that's
But
another way to find Brittany.
yes.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for joining us today and this great conversation on development and membership and how they actually dovetail quite well.
Yes.
Again, I'm your host, Cecilia Sepp, and we are glad you could join us, and we'll be back with another edition unless everybody gets a job. Until next time.